And welcome to the Lions Share, where we talk family, faith, football, finance, and fun. I'm your host, Mitch Lyons. As always, this episode brought to you by Mitch Lyons Wealth. Check us out at mitchlyonswealth.com for a lot of free tools, including a book, Retirement of Steel, my movie, The Retirement Deception, or use our free tax tool and find out how much you're going to pay in taxes in retirement. All free at mitchlyonswealth.com. Well, today's episode is simply a recap of last night's Super Bowl, where the Philadelphia Eagles just absolutely dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. And frankly, the score isn't indicative of how bad that game really was in terms of closeness. Just from the get-go, it was clear the Eagles defense was just powerful, too powerful for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Patrick Mahomes was never comfortable in the pocket. And it just showed you how important having a good pass rush is, because it makes everything better on defense when you can rush the quarterback. I've always said a great defense, a great pass rush can make a great quarterback look average in a hurry. And Patrick Mahomes looked very average at best last night, turning the ball over, being rushed, being forced into making bad decisions on the fly. And this Eagles team just kicked in the door and said, hey, we're going to impose our will on you. They very rarely blitzed. I mean, they might have blitzed a couple times, but they basically did it with a four-man rush, and it was impressive. Josh Sweat had 2.5 sacks, and they just kept coming. They didn't stop. And again, like I said, the score was deceivingly closer than it really was. Kansas City scored a couple late ones. But most people, me included, felt that Kansas City was going to win that game because you had to go with Patrick Mahomes. He's done it so many times in the past. Until you proved it otherwise to me, I felt like we had to go with Mahomes. And boy, did Philly ever do that. The old saying that defense wins games or wins championships was never more true than last night, because that Philly defense was simply unbelievably dominant. And they basically laid the blueprint for anybody that wants to win a Super Bowl. You've got to get to the quarterback. And you saw that in the previous Super Bowl that the Kansas City Chiefs lost in the 2020 season, when Tampa Bay did the same thing, put pressure on Mahomes, made him look average. You think back to a couple Super Bowls where Tom Brady lost. New York Giants got in Brady's face, made him look average, didn't give him all day to pick apart a defense. Now, it's easier said than done. It's tough to get those elite pass rushers that can win one-on-one matchups. But this Philly defense made Superman look very much like Clark Kent from the get-go. And that pass rush was just simply straight up kryptonite, okay? What can we learn from that game? Well, there's a few things, I think. Number one is don't listen to the experts all week long. Like I said, everybody was talking about the three-peat and the Chiefs and Mahomes and the legacy they're going to have as the first three-peat winner of a Super Bowl. Philly didn't care about that. They didn't listen to the outside voices. They knew what they could do. They focused on their game plan, which leads me to the next thing you can learn. Plan your work your plan. Forget about that outside noise. Just plan your work, believe in your plan, and then go out and execute. Prepare and execute. Pretty simple at its core. Number three, take aim at your goal and be relentless. And again, that defense, play after play after play, they just didn't stop. And it wasn't just their starting four. They rotated guys in, and they all were bringing the heat. They were all winning one-on-one matchups, and they just made Mahomes uncomfortable. And it was like nothing we've really seen. I mean, he was uncomfortable every play. It wasn't very often he could just have any time at all to maybe even get to his second read. He was running for his life from the get-go. Take aim at your goal and be relentless is the other thing. So, and the other thing you see in this Philly team was be selfless, right? Saquon Barkley didn't have the greatest numbers that he's ever had. Do you think he cares, though? He's a Super Bowl champion today. That Kansas City defense, they did a good job stopping the run. But because of that, Jalen Hurts had, one-on-one matchups on the outside with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith that he could take advantage of. And that's a credit to the fact that Saquon Barkley had an incredible year. Kansas City knew they had to limit him in order to have any chance at that game. And they did limit him, but it opened him up to some other opportunities on the outside that Jalen Hurts was able to take advantage of. And Jalen Hurts was fantastic. I mean, 5 incompletions, used his legs. I mean, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league, and that probably doesn't get the credit he deserves. But I think last night with the MVP award certainly puts him up in that echelon of recognized great quarterbacks. And the last thing I would just note, give thanks to God. Keep perspective. Both Jalen Hurts and Coach Nick Sirianni gave acknowledgement to their Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first thing in their post game interviews, and that kind of perspective is priceless. I mean, to put things in perspective as you play on the grandest stage in all of sports, the Super Bowl, to know that you're grounded in your faith and that win or lose, Jesus has you. And I thought that was cool to see. And, bottom line is, this game was a great reminder that anything is possible if you just believe in yourself, right? Don't listen to the outside noise. Don't listen to all the experts. Just believe in yourself. So many times, even looking back on my life, where people, told me I couldn't do it. I couldn't make the NFL, couldn't make college, wasn't fast enough, wasn't this, wasn't that. Just believe in yourself. And this Eagles team was a great testament to that. And it's why we love sports. I mean, they are a microcosm of life. This game was no different. And there's so much to be gained from sports. And that's why I think it's great for kids to play them. So many life lessons. But man, being relentless, going after your dreams, and just not listening to the noise. Every NFL player out there has a story they can tell about how they reached the highest level to make the league. But when you get to the point where you get 53, 60 guys on a roster, to pull together, to be selfless, to all come together like fingers in a glove and get a championship done, that's just it's unreal. And Philly, kudos to them. They did it. A lot of 31 other teams are going to be, starting today, planning for next year and how they're going to unseat them and how they're going to win it. And celebrate for a day, Philly, and then it's right back to the grind. That's life. That's pro sports. But I know this. I'm going to come after today. I'm going to attack today like an eagle. And I'm going to have an eagle-like attitude and be relentless. And let's go. Let's do this thing. Hey, if you enjoyed today's episode, like, subscribe, please. And don't forget, again, check out MitchLyonsWealth.com for some great complimentary tools and see if your retirement is a retirement of steel. And if you're not sure, give us a call. Click on the link on the website. Get a 10-minute free consultation to see if you're doing all that you can do to protect your retirement and optimize your retirement income. And at the end of the day, 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is probably worth a 10-minute call to make sure you're doing all that you can. We won't sell you anything. We'll let you know. If you're set, we'll let you know that. And if we think we can help you, we'll let you know that too. But until next time, this is The Lion's Share with Mitch Lyons.